Good morning. Welcome to day 3 of the Sexy Summer Body Reset program. I am so glad that you are here. Awesome. So let's recap the first couple of days really fast. So the first couple of days, we talked about how to start moving your metabolism to fat burning versus sugar burning. And in order to do that, you have to really reduce your morning carbohydrate intake. And if you really want to kick it into high gear, you will want to follow a ketogenic type diet. That will be a lower carbohydrate diet, moderate protein and higher fat diet, super healthy, super anti-inflammatory, which is awesome because that is our topic today, is how to reduce inflammation. Reducing inflammation is going to be huge if you really want to have super, super good health for the rest of your life and to regain your health, recapture it. Day 2, we talked about toxins and the role that they play and how important it is to start thinking about reducing your toxic load. And let me just do one thing real quick here. Okay, reducing your toxic load, how important that can be, because it's slowing down your entire system, it's making things malfunction, and it's harming your health, right? Okay, so today we're talking about reducing inflammation. And in addition to the ketogenic type diet, which is anti-inflammatory, and in addition to trying to keep yourself away from as many toxic exposures as you can, and even cleansing and detoxifying your body, the next key that can really help you decrease your inflammation is something that I have fallen in love with, and it is called intermittent fasting. I love intermittent fasting. What that really means is it means you're eating less often during the day, but you're not necessarily eating less calories, which is really big. We don't want to eat less calories because if we cut back calories too much, our body will seriously go into starvation mode, and we don't want to have that happen. So what we do is we eat less often. So like I told you, I believe yesterday or maybe the day before, I really like the bulletproof coffee for my breakfast. And the thing that's nice about that is I get a little caffeine for a little bit of energy, don't really need that. Sometimes I use decaf, honestly. But I get the fat from the coconut oil and the butter fat, and that's what gives me my energy. Well, the thing that's nice about that is there's no part of that that's increasing my blood sugar, so I'm not getting an inflammatory response. So in essence, I'm still continuing a fasting state, which is really cool. And basically, intermittent fasting means let's wait till later in the day before we eat anything. And honestly, intermittent fasters usually probably don't eat more than twice a day, and they may only eat one time a day. And honestly, what I have done is I have adapted like an eat window. And my eat window is from like 3 to 7 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., something like that. So I have a range of time to start eating my calories for the day, because honestly, for me to eat all my calories in one meal, kind of hard because my stomach's just not that big. So I have this window of opportunity where that's the time where I eat, is, during this 2 to 4 hour window. And in doing that, you're only raising your blood sugar that one time a day, and because your body's focusing on digestion that one time of day, it is so much healthier, way less inflammatory, and the results are phenomenal. And the thing that's really cool is there's even a lot of bodybuilders and athletes that are now starting to adopt this type of eating style, because they're finding that the results, they're getting better performance, they're able to keep their physique up easier and not having to try so hard at the dieting part, which is awesome. So I love, love, love intermittent fasting. There's also some supplementation that you can use to reduce inflammation, which might be really important depending on what you have going on. One of my favorite turmeric/curcumin products is called Curamed, made by Terry's Naturally. This is a curcumin that is super high quality, and they've added other cofactors to it to help you absorb it really well. because honestly, turmeric itself, super hard to digest and to absorb. It just kind of likes to go through you instead of being absorbed, just the nature of what it is. So, all right, so anyway, so Curamed by Terrace Naturally, one of my favorites and super, super, super good for inflammation. Other products that are good for inflammation, omega-3 fish oils. Krill oil is a little bit more of a favorite of mine right now. The fish are smaller, they seem cleaner, and it's easier, I think, to get a good high quality product. Thing about fish oil, you don't want old, yucky, rancid, or poor quality oils, because that's gonna pretty much do the opposite of what you really want it to do, unfortunately. So make sure if you do fish oil or krill oil, that it is super good, high quality. And it's also good to not overdo fish oil. If we increase our ratio of the omega-3s out of ratio with omega-6s, omega-9s, and other oils in our body, then we can start to get omega-3 dominance, and that has a whole host of other issues. So honestly, I try to cycle my omegas where I will take 2 or 3 capsules 3 times a week, just to make sure that I get kind of a burst of the anti-inflammatory effect, but then I also give my body a chance to do its whole, process of repair and regeneration on its own. Another good anti-inflammatory product, especially for the eyes and for the skin, I really love to use this in the summer because I know it protects me from sunburning as easily, and that's called astaxanthin. And often you can get that mixed with krill together, so that makes a really great combination, but astaxanthin is also really great. There's a lot of good antioxidant products out there, like alpha-lipoic, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, a whole host of other supplements, but these 3 are honestly my absolute very favorite. The next part of really reducing your inflammation is making sure you're hydrated. If your body's dehydrated, it's not going to be able to detoxify and do its natural processes quite as easily. So make sure you're eating enough good high quality oil, or drinking enough high quality water, and eating high quality oils too, but making sure the water that you drink is high quality, and make sure you're drinking enough water. And usually they say half your body weight in ounces of water. So as an example, 100 pounds would be 50 ounces. 200 pounds would be 100 ounces. So that's just kind of a rule of thumb, and you can kind of adjust from there. If it's summer where you live, coming up like where we are, we probably need to drink more because we're going to be more exposed to sweating and hot temperatures. So just make sure you're drinking good high quality water. Stress can play a huge role in inflammation. And stress can literally eat us alive. It can tear our bodies apart. It can do super destructive things. And so we really, really, really have to pay attention to our stress levels. And I'll probably say this every day, but it's that important. It so is that important. So taking time every morning, meditate for 5 or 10 minutes, 15 to 20 if you can. Do the heart-brain coherence exercise that I talked about yesterday, or listening to some soothing music, going on a walk, but just paying attention to your stress levels and taking some proactive steps to help reduce it. Sometimes we can't always change our situation, but we can definitely modify how we react to that situation and start responding more appropriately, giving ourselves a couple of minutes to get some perspective, and then we can respond, because responding is so much better than reacting. And making adjustments wherever we can, and where we can't, just accepting that fact and really just trying to work with it as good as you can. Because I know there's some things out there you literally can't do anything about it, but the way you respond to it can be really big. And you might even be able to shift your thinking into, how is this benefiting me, or what is this teaching me? Sometimes that might be really hard to do, but having that perspective be a little bit different just might be enough to reduce your stress levels. Also, don't take on extra projects if you do not have the time. learn to say no. That can be very healthy. Say yes when it works, but say no when you know it's going to be too much. All right, let's see. What else as far as decreasing stress? Going often to get massages if you can, once a week or even once a month. Going to yoga classes. Exercise is good. If you're under a lot of stress and your exercise is too vigorous, that might just increase inflammation as well. It might really be good for the stress relief, but you might really have to pay attention to your body to know if the exercise is too intense and making your stress level worse. And the last thing I want to talk today about, helping you become more aware of what's inflammatory or inflaming you, is food intolerances. There are, a variety of foods out there that we eat every day. And it's really good to pay attention to our bodies to determine if we're eating something that's not really in agreement with our body chemistry. If you notice you get bloating, gas, stomach ache or pain, or a really big dip in energy, or you start craving, those could be signals that maybe that some part of what you're eating you have an intolerance to. Not necessarily that you're allergic because you're not breaking out in hives and like ending up in the hospital, but just that it's inflaming you and causing your body to have to work harder to digest it and to like deal with it. Right? There's also some really good tests out there. There's a really neat diet that I followed once that I loved, and it was called The Plan by Lynn Jeanette Recitas. And it was a specific diet that you followed for 21 days that helped you determine which foods you were inflammatory to. So what's awesome is after I did that, I had this list of the foods that inflamed me and the ones that didn't. And if they inflamed me and it was just a favorite food of mine, well, maybe I'll eat it once a month. But I'm definitely not going to eat it every day and cause my body that inflammatory reaction. There's other things you can do. There's blood spot testing where you poke your finger and you put little blood spots on these little circles, and you can send it in to a lab and have it tested. And you can test for like between 100 to 200 different food intolerances that way. And there's also some saliva testing that you can do. But if you have some serious health issues going on, I really invite you to look into food intolerance testing, because you may come out with this big list of stuff you're supposed to avoid, but in the long run, that may benefit your health so much because you're reducing the fire, you're lowering your inflammation and allowing your body and your immune system to take a little break and to start healing and regenerating and having so much more energy. We want to look good, we want to feel good, and we want to age slower, and these are all amazing keys to doing that. So I invite you to go through each of these steps. I'll be sending out the handout in a little while today. Go through these and start taking action today so that you start to look and feel better, or just get your performance even higher. Because I know I work with a lot of people that are, a lot of clients are super high performing. They're entrepreneurs, they're or executives, and they need to perform at their best. In doing these things to decrease your inflammation will help you improve and perform at your very best, because you want your brain and your body to just be spot on, and these things will help easily take you there a step at a time. Have a lovely day. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And one last thing. So tomorrow, let's do a fast. It is a Friday, but it could be any day if you're doing this at a different time. So tomorrow, I will drink only water for an entire 24 hours. Join me if you'd like to drink green juice for your fasting. I would love that too. But let's do that tomorrow together, and just know that we're holding each other's hands, we're there for each other, and that the variation in our diet where we fast once in a while can really improve our body function. And one of the cool things that it does is we want to stress our mitochondria just a little bit. When we stress our mitochondria a little bit, the weak ones will die, the strong ones will become stronger, and therefore our bodies and cells get healthier. So have a great day. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye.